So I just took a piece of cardboard and I traced the inside of that box, the size of that box, and we're going to use that to make those lids. We'll make some kind of something that fits down on those lids so they don't slide around. I'll show you what I'm talking about as the rain starts. So I took some plywood scraps and made some strips. Those fit down into the hole, and I cut a cup holder. I got some cup holders. I used to have a couch that had cup holders. When we threw the couch out, I kept the cup holders, and they go in those holes. That could be hooks and sinkers, or it could actually be a cup going in there. Now on the other door, I'm going to put a hole for the cup holder in the exact same spot, and I've already got the strips cut. I'll mount them on there. We'll be done with these doors. Here are the compartment doors in place. And it's now time to put the cup holders in. Now, one more time. In. Done. So here all three compartment doors are on and in place. This one you can stand on. It's been reinforced. And I think that front one on, yeah, right here, we might write Chunky. Okay, so the two cup holders have been installed, and on the front door, we've got Chunky. I like that. We're going to take cookies every time we go out in the boat. So 30 years of corrosion was taking its toll on my bow rails. That piece had completely corroded and fallen apart. So I just took an oversized hose clamp, clamp that baby in place. Now the aluminum, after 40 something years, he's still solid. Aluminum and stainless, good for boats. Out here in the boat, I've got the plywood compartment doors in place, and I've got Chunky sprayed onto that front one. When you step off the dock onto the boat, it's like a welcome mat to a house. You're in Chunky. And then on this, let's see, that would be the right side. I've carved a little hole and there's a pipe in there. That's what I was fiddling around with last night. Shade's really important to me, so I made a umbrella holder. And the way it works, you've got that pipe. This pipe slides into that pipe, extension. And then I've got one more pipe that slides into that pipe, another extension. And now if you had a 45, you could put it on here, that could be a pole holder. And then one more pipe, which is the umbrella pipe, slides in there. Then we can put the umbrella in place, and we'll test the shade on this hot sunny day. So we'll have this umbrella plus the Bimini. How can I open this with one hand? And now the whole driver's seat is pretty much in the shade, this little front compartment, depending on time of day, depending on which way the boat's pointing. I'm in the shade. Now I should probably put one in the back, same size pipe, just move everything to the back. That way when you're running the motor like it's tiller, you could sit back there under the shade and run the motor. That might be next. So I've just made this clamp. The back of the boat is not that sturdy. Needs to be redone. But temporarily I've got this piece of flat iron. Those bolts came with the boat. That used to hold the old kicker on. And we're going to use this to clamp the homemade 12.5 horse on. Hope it holds. The custom clamp is now in place. Inside and outside. And on both sides. Clamps onto that little lip. And let's hope that holds it on, that plus the normal clamps. So I've got this piece of flat metal, and I've got this lawnmower key switch, and this hole that was in the middle, I literally took a round file, and in about, I don't know, 10 seconds, it fits in the hole. So we're going to use this for the boat mount this, have the key switch. It's looking good for the boat team. That was one of the easiest brackets I've ever made. Got 2 holes, the screws are even countersunk. The switch goes here. Then I went over to the push mower. It had a key. So that's what we'll be starting the boat with. That floatable key ring I got, now we got something to put it on. Now I've not shown you this yet, but there's another pole holder which is working as an umbrella holder. That'll be while you're sitting there running the motor, you got some shade. And then this 2x4, this screws into that 2x4, and that 2x4 will also hold the key switch. So you'll reach in here, this will be out of the splash zone for the key switch. And I've already got the flotational device on it so we don't lose it. So once I screw that in place, it'll look something like this. And you'll reach under and fire the boat up, shut the boat off. Look good? Let me get the drill and some screws. On the key switch, this is what I've got so far. This blue wire, the G, that's the ground. The B, the white wire, that goes to your battery. The M, this is your black wire. That goes to your motor. It grounds out your motor, shuts it off. The S, the green wire, goes to your solenoid. And then the L, I don't know what L stands for. Leave me a comment if you know what the L stands for. If it was an A, that'd be accessories. L, I'm not sure. That's up to you to let me know. L, let me know. Now if you want to trace some of the wires out, the green goes to the solenoid. This is the solenoid. I'm going to mount it underneath down by the battery. The white, it don't go there yet. It's going to the battery, which is going to be down under here. The blue, this is the blue. If you look up on the engine, there's the blue. Grounded out on the engine. The black, if we look on the other side of the engine, that's the black. Wiring update, there's the kicker. Right down below is your key switch. And over here at the battery, that's the solenoid. Hear it clicking? So all I have to do now is run a hot wire from the battery to this post, from this post to the boat motor, and then from the boat motor a ground back to the battery, and we are done with this. And I think I'll mount the solenoid right on the battery. I've never seen that done before, but why not? Okay, so I've got the battery all wired up to the engine, to the key switch. There's the solenoid again. If I take this hot wire and put it on one side of the solenoid, all this is a switch that connects these 2 wires. I can hold these 2 cables to the solenoid, hit the key, and it's running. So now the key switch works. I just need an end on this that I can bolt on here, and an end on this that I can bolt onto there. This project is done, as far as the wiring goes. Now the 2 positive wires are hooked up to the solenoid. We swing over to the key switch. And the good news is, this orange wire is coming from the motor, and that charges the battery. So, we're done here. I'll tuck all that underneath on that plywood once I get the plywood under there. Out of sight, out of mind. If we come up to the light switch, the lights work, key switch works, kicker runs. We're getting there. Chunky. Chunk it. Now if you're wondering about an anchor, there's an anchor that came with the boat. It's got a nice galvanized piece of chain, and there's 1, 2, 3 nice pieces of dry rotted rope. Still strong enough to hold the boat though. So we're covered with ropes and anchors. I'm gonna put them up in those compartments. Looking at the badge in this boat, it's getting a little bit old. I better document it. It's a cobia boat. Looks like it holds 1,860 pounds. What is that, 1050, 1060, 135. Out here sitting in the boat and I'm staring at that rainbow. That's a pretty nice rainbow. Here in the boat, there's 2 light switches. This is an inside light. You can see it come on there. And then this is your back light. This is your front light, running lights. Just wired up, so now that this one works, it's a little LED underneath the dash. And I'll unplug the big light so you can see how it looks. That's it, shining light down the floor. Off and on. And there's the back light. And then here goes the front light. So maybe a couple more LEDs. We'll go do some night fishing. I also picked up this stainless steel U-bolt for the back. The other one had rusted off, but it's a little dark to put that on tonight. Maybe that's tomorrow during the day. Just the other night I went ahead and replaced this while you weren't looking. Sorry you missed it. I probably should caulk around it again. That is the old piece still on there. Out here with Chunky Boat, and I just came back from the DMV, and I now have registration for the boat. That's going to be stuck right about there, but not while it's raining. Not only did I just come from the DMV, I came from the grocery store where the Chunky cookies were buy one, get one free. Shout out to Chunky Cookies from Chunky. And to go with these Chunky cookies, I rounded up one more LED light for the interior of the boat. Just got to get it installed for that night fishing. There is a rainbow that goes all the way from the Impala up and over and down to the boat.